right, so we're going to open up with our centering breaths. We're going to discuss our topic, which we're switching for our new topic for the month of November, which is the power of the breath and conscious spending. We are going to spend some time on, of course, diving into our mindfulness practice and with a silent reflection. And the overall mind well theme across the board would be to talk about just financial health as well. Yeah, hopefully coffee. I am thankful for coffee too, Amy. I can totally agree. Well, I agree with each and every one of those statements that y'all have put in the chat box. But I definitely agree with you, Amy. I have been living a lot off of coffee, and I'll try to speak up. I know my mic might be acting up a little bit today, so I'll try to speak up, Erica. So hopefully you'll be able to. Can everyone else hear me? I know I'm having a little bit of issues. If you okay, Erica, you might need to maybe log off and then log back in. That might help if you can hear me. I know you're saying you can't hear me, so that might not help. Alrighty, y'all. So I invite everyone. Okay, thank you so much for that. To our Mind Well host, helping as always. All right, so I invite everyone to sit up with your head, neck back in a line. Your feet are going to be planted firmly on the floor. And I invite everyone to inhale nice and deep, hold and retain the breath, and exhale that breath out nice and gently. Inhale nice and deep, hold and retain the breath, and exhale. Inhale nice and deep, hold and retain the breath, exhale. Inhale nice and deep, hold and retain the breath, and exhale. As we're breathing in and inhaling, I want you to imagine your stomach rising or feel it rising. And as you exhale, feel, you're going to pull your stomach gently, like your belly button, gently to your spine to release the air out. So we're going to all inhale nice and deep, feeling our stomach expand, hold and retain the breath, and exhale, pulling the belly button gently to the spine, releasing all that air out of your body system. Inhale nice and deep. Hold and retain the breath. You're going to hold it for 3, 2, 1, and exhale. We're going to take two more together. Inhale nice and deep. Hold and retain the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Last one. Inhale nice and deep. Hold and retain the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. And keeping your eyes closed, I invite you to take 3 deep breaths at your own pace to do an internal assessment just to see how your mind and how your body are feeling in this present moment. And when you're ready, you can slowly blink your eyes open. Righty, and we're going to jump into the quote for today. And I'm going to share that in the chat box as well right now. If my computer wants to cooperate. There we go. All right. So, quote of the day is: wealth, after all, is a relative thing. Since he that has little and wants less is richer than he that has much and wants more. And that is by Charles Caleb Colton. And I'll repeat that again. Wealth, after all, is a relative thing, since he that has little and wants less is richer than he that has much and wants more. And that is by Charles Caleb Colton as well. Sorry, I was looking at that. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you're having trouble, Erica. I know our host was saying that I guess Zoom was having some issues with the car audio, but hopefully it turns all around. All I need is coffee. I love that. I feel the same way today, so I honestly get it. And I definitely have not had my cup of coffee for today. So with that being said, I always try to like share rare experiences and um I know like we've talked in the we've had talks in the past how finances are definitely like a key aspect in our life. And I feel like, as time goes by, it gets more and more complicated. Even this thing right here, as simple, right? Back in the day, probably like a century ago, used to be free, right? Now, this very thing right here, simple, a necessity in our lives, the price has gone up, very expensive, right? So, things are definitely changing. They're probably going to start charging us for air. It'll be an air tax soon. I'm pretty sure, as quiet as it's kept, we probably already paid for one, right? Stuff that should be free, right? Um, but all that to say that finances are a very important aspect. But something that what resonated with me with this quote is like the more the more you want for things and you seek for those things, and I know I kind of related to like searching for things external outside of us. It could blindside you that from the wealth that you already have in your life. Like money does not make you rich, right? I mean, from a worldly level, I would say like yes, all right, you can see Elon Musk. Oh, he's rich. Oh, like financially when you look in their bank account. But then like you look at these people that have all this money, I'll say even our president here in the United States, he if you look in his bank account, it's probably a lot of money in there, right? It probably just keeps on growing. I don't know if it's the most ethical thing behind it, but I'm not one to judge. All right, I don't live his life. Um, I guess his actions does affect my life and everybody else here in the states. And honestly, it's like an imprint worldwide too, because there's other places even outside the United States that gets affected, and people are affected. With them and a lot of politicians' actions. But now I don't want to get political with you all, but they they don't seem like rich when you see just like the way that like they're living their lives, right? Like money doesn't define us. It does not make us wealthy, right? It's people that have way less. You'll even see like maybe somebody like that's just less fortunate than you, and they constantly have a smile on their face, right? Um, and people like even come up to me and just like, oh, you seem like you live a very happy life, and I feel like I do, but are my finances already like do I feel totally comfortable, especially in today's climate? Like no, like I work in schools, like I'm a business owner, and then I work in schools and I work with kids. It's like that doesn't put too much physical money, like paper money in my pocket or in my bank account. But like I feel very wealthy, right? With just the smiles on their face. And then I show much gratitude that I'm able to do something that I'm passionate about. I feel fulfilled going out in the world. I'm able even to be in this space with y'all. And that like makes me feel very wealthy. Just living my life and my purpose. I was having a talk with my grandmother, and she was like, "You know what? I admire how you don't try to keep up with everybody." We was having this talk last Friday. She was like, "You don't try to keep up with everybody." And then she was like, and you always see like you making it. Like you just make it. You have a smile on your face. But I think she said you're not trying to keep up with the Jones or something. I guess that was her metaphor. I don't know if it's like an old TV show. You know how grandparents come with the metaphors. But I am so grateful when I wake up every day. Like even, if I'm having difficult times or I feel like a little uncertain, I think I was telling y'all that with like different cuts and certain things that have happened that I probably lost over probably like $120,000 worth of like contracts like from last year to this present school year. So that took like a big dent, and I always try to look out for my employees and keep them working as well. So all that like makes a big shift. But then just with like the love, the compassion, and then we're all passionate about what we do. And then as a leader, I always try to just put myself in their shoes. Like I still take care of myself, still take care of my family, but I'm really mindful of how I'm trying to look out for them and make sure they're able to sustain. And I don't never want to feel like myself or even bigger as an organization that people feel like they're getting taken advantage of and not cared for. So, but that makes me just feel wealthy in a sense, right? So wealth isn't always about how much is in your bank account. Like wealth is, the energy, the love that you're putting out there into the universe. And that's not to say like don't worry about your finances, but it's you're just not built and defined off of that. I just want to make sure I see a lot of comments. Want to make sure I'm keeping up with you. And thank you for resharing that quote, Jessica. Appreciate the assistance. Teamwork makes the dream work. I appreciate y'all. You're not trying to think you're doing. That's that mindset. I like that, Erica. So just being mindful, like in the space of going back and just showing gratitude. But then, when you're tied in, I feel like when you move with that type of clarity, it actually put you in a place of not being so anxious, because if you're constantly stressing about money, you're probably like living with a lot of anxiety, and then you're not going to be as clear-minded or level-headed to make the right decisions, right? Or sometimes it can lead to us being like impulsive, right? And just like, oh, I'm going to go out and go shopping because that makes me feel better, right? So we might complain about money, but then we're like, well, what makes me feel better in this present moment is to go shopping. So then it uh probably puts you even more in debt, right? Some people like to bet, right? No judgment once again, but then you're like, oh, I have like colleagues, and they're like, you know what? I'm hurting on money. I'm gonna go bet, but then lose the bet and then you're just like, yeah, that didn't really help you out in that situation. It's all these external things, right? People that usually stress about money go spend money on something externally outside of them. So it leads to us becoming more impulsive. So, using our breath, being mindful, and just being grateful of things around us, maybe even going for a walk, going outside, spending time with family. I know that's why I asked what we are grateful for in this present moment. So just family and friends and having that conversation. Maybe even having a friend, not to say misery loves company, but it always feels good hearing a friend saying like, "Hey, I've been in that spot, or I might be in that current spot, and I have those same feelings." And you're not alone. We are humans. We love being social, and we love that connection. So just even knowing that you're not alone in the process, also helps as well. So it's just great to just be able to talk to a friend or a family member, and just have that blessing, because a lot of times people might not feel connected with their friends or their families, and they feel a little more isolated. I feel like even some of those people that are really, really wealthy are disconnected and don't probably really have real friends, and their family, everybody's probably trying to take advantage of them. So they usually end up usually being looking pretty miserable, even though they can buy everything they want. But this life goes by fast, and this stuff is like temporary, and I pray for longevity for each and every one of us, but life does go fast in the blink of a moment. So just really, like, what is your imprint on the world? Like, what are you contributing? Like, are you taking care of yourself? Are you putting love out there for people? Are you helping someone? That makes me feel wealthy. All right, so I want to jump into just a mindfulness practice. So I invite everyone to sit up, head neck back in the line. We're going to do some movement. Movement is always good for the body. So we're going to take our right hand and we're going to put it on our left kneecap. We're going to bring our left arm. If you're sitting on the back of a chair, you can grab the back of your back uh, of the chair. And we're going to just slightly, we're going to come and turn to our left, chin over our left shoulder, get a nice good stretch. And then we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to take our left hand, put it on our right kneecap, take our right arm. If you're not sitting in the chair, you can just place it, just reach your right hand to the back and push it over to the left. And we're going to hold for 3, 2, 1, getting a nice good stretch, and you can relax. And I invite you now, you're going to place your hands at your heart center. And we're going to inhale and we're going to come up. Just fingertips going straight up. And exhale, hands going to come back to our heart center. Inhale, fingertips going up. Your biceps should be like close to your ears as much as possible, but don't feel like you're straining. But you should feel that stretch in your upper back. And exhale and release. Hands to heart center. We're going to do this 3 more times. Inhaling up. Exhale and release. Inhaling up. Exhale and release. Inhaling up. Going to hold our arms up, holding on to the breath. And exhale and release. And you can relax your arms. And we're going to take one hand, we're going to flip it up. So our right hand, and position it like mine, and give yourself a handshake. And we're going to do some spinal twists. So we're going to keep your knuckles aligned with the center of your chest. I don't want you turning with your arms. You're going to turn at the waist. So we're going to inhale, turn left, and exhale, turn right. Inhale, turn left. 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 Exhale to center, keeping your arms up. And you're going to inhale and pull like you're playing tug of war. Pull. You'll see my arms shaking. Pull, 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 and exhale and release. Righty. I'm glad to hear that, Mike. So if you need to do some shoulder shrugs, rolling your shoulders backwards, maybe rolling them forward, doing some neck rolls, just feel free to stretch and move what's comfortable for you. After our quick movements, our mindful movements we have did together. And I'm just going to come in and check in. I'm going to look over the messages. But if you have any questions, any observations with our discussion today, I always tell you time flies. So, like, I am grateful for each and every second because seconds yeah, like I feel like minutes go by like seconds with you all. Like time always flies, and I'm always appreciative to be with you all each and every Friday. But it feels like I don't get enough time with you all. It's like if I have a extended conversation, I'm like, oh no, gotta do some mindfulness practice with you all. But I enjoy every second that I'm in y'all presence and with y'all. I know a lot of us have to get ready for work or at work or, have stuff we have to do around the house and just, errands we might have to run. So I'm just appreciative for y'all just making this space consistently with me and sharing this space. Appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for the kind words. Glad you're feeling lighter. I know that's right, Erica. That is beautifully said. Just be in the moment. We cannot control time. We surely can't. We could just be present and make the most out of each second. All righty. My pleasure, Cecilia. I'm glad those movements felt great. All right. Well, I hope each and every one of y'all have a great, fantastic weekend. I was just reading through and making sure I didn't miss any questions. But I appreciate all your kind words and y'all are amazing insights that you always share because y'all even see in the chat box, even when I miss something, y'all are so quick to help one another. So that just shows that we're moving in the right direction. We have lots of love, lots of compassion in this space. So I'm appreciative of that. And then, I was saying, as my teachers say, We just gonna be like those love zombies, compassion zombies, right? You know how a zombie bites another zombie, they get infected. So we're just going to keep sharing compassion, and we're just going to let that spread worldwide. But it's going to start with us and our space and our community, and it's surely here in our MindWell community. Thank you. I appreciate that, Sheila. I just like the color. And it's I'm a Ravens fan, football, American football fan. So the city wears purple each Friday. So it gives me a reason to, well, I wear it outside of Purple Friday, but I'm a roll with the theme of the city, Purple Friday. Thank you so much, y'all. Well, I love you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. Peace, y'all.